Well, we are here with our second episode of Chamber Live, Nicole.
I think we're on a roll.
We're excited. We have a great guest with us today. We have Brandon Crouch, owner of HunkAJunk Hauling. Welcome, Brandon.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out here today and talking with us on our second episode.
Well, congratulations on your podcast here. It's wonderful. You have a beautiful studio. You have a great setup. So once people start coming in, you guys are going to kill it. It's good.
Well, we're excited about it, and getting to talk to you and other members of our chamber members, but also just learn what's going on in your business and your world, catching us up on things
In the junk world.
Yeah, it's a junky world out there, and somebody's got to clean it up.
Well, that's true.
And they call Brandon.
There is a lot of junk out there. There's a lot of people who like to collect things, and they like to collect a lot of things and keep latch onto them for a very long time.
And then the second generation has to say, we don't want this.
Yes.
And they call you to
declutter.
And donate it or take it to the recyclables. Or...
We take it to wherever the most appropriate place for it to go is. Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about about your business.
Yeah, sure. So the name of our company is called HunkAJunk Hauling, and we were the original junk removal company here in Iredell County. My wife and I started the business 5.5 years ago. And with that, I have an entrepreneurial spirit. I've always wanted to own my own business, kind of start my own thing. But I never knew really what I wanted to do. I'm a registered nurse. I still work in that field, do a lot of traveling. So that has a lot to do, like healthcare and junk just go hand in hand. Not really. No, they have nothing to do with one another. So, which is also nice. I do something that's totally different than what I do as a profession. And now I guess I'm actually a professional junk remover. So, but my wife looked at me and she goes, I got it. There is a need for junk removal in our community. And so we did a little bit of research and looked on it. So I was like, okay, well, I wanted a truck anyway, so here's a good reason to buy one. So the first year I did all the junk removal, advertising, everything on my own. And I realized that there truly was a need in this town. And my wife was like, I didn't think this was going to be like a full-time thing or whatnot. I'd be like, yeah. And I was like, no, my name's on the truck. My name's on the business card. So if they call, we're going to be there and we're going to do it. So I did it after work. I did it on the weekends, late nights. She would be helping me. She's never let me forget that on some of these jobs. But then I realized there is something there. So I wanted to build on that. And then through the help of family and friends, it has grown. We've been voted the best junk removal sanitation company in Iredell County the last 2 years in a row, which is actually the only 2 years of that category.
I was going to say, didn't you lobby for that category?
Well, I called and they asked if I wanted to be part of it. And I said, well, I'm not a sanitation company. I'm junk removal. Is there any way you could add like a caveat to the category? And they said, well, sure, why not?
Yeah.
So that's how that came about.
Because it is very different. I mean, people don't think sanitation and junk removal.
Right.
I mean, they're in the same space, but it's very different.
It is very different. Like, we don't come and pick your trash up
Right.
weekly in your trash cans and something like that. There are services out there that are better suited for that than we are. But so we've grown, and I have an incredible team that helps me. My guys, they work hard. They do a great job. They care about what they do. They respect our customers' property. They're professional, and we're quick, efficient, and I mean, I'm kind of biased, but I do think we're the best.
So with your service, is it not just about junk removal? Do you do some organization? Because I can imagine that for some of these businesses or owners or property management companies that you work with too, that there's got to be a little something more done other than just...
So we don't specialize in organization.
Okay.
There are other folks out there that we work with. One lady's name's Julia.
Oh, yeah, Julia.
Yeah, we've done several jobs with her. Now she will do the organizing. And what we do is we come in. She'll call us. We'll come in. We'll declutter. We'll take all the stuff that they're not going to need anymore, and then she'll go and do all the professional organizing.
Nice. So that's good that you
fantastic.
partner out with other businesses.
So then that homeowner or that person, that business is really left with some use of the space.
Correct.
And there's nothing else that they need to do. They can just enjoy. And I do think that is a part of mental health. because
sure.
removing that clutter certainly feels a lot better than living in it.
Well, and I'm sure everyone has seen the show Hoarders, okay? And I used to watch the show Hoarders, and I didn't really understand it. Even being in the healthcare field, I didn't really truly understand that is a mental disorder. But now when I go into these homes and I see just unfortunately, for lack of a better word, the filth that people are living in, and it's not because they want to; it's because they can't let go. They don't. If they had the choice, they wouldn't be living there. But they feel like they don't have a choice, and they keep things, and then they have the animals, and so and the crazy thing is you may not even know it from the outside of the house, but if you can get the door open. And so I've learned through families that, the uncle or the grandmother or whatnot wouldn't even let people in. Holidays, they'd always meet them outside. And I thought, why are we not going in the house?
Right.
But that's why. They're embarrassed. But it truly is a disease and a disorder, and you just feel so bad for the person and the family because a lot of times they don't even know. And then they feel this whole shame that they should have known, they should have come in there, they should have done something before it got out of hand. But that's why people like us and our company is there, to help relieve that burden from you and from your family. So,
What's the most unique thing you've ever gotten to do?
the most unique thing, oh gosh, let's see. I can tell you the most unique thing that we ever came across so far,
Okay.
and that was someone's remains.
Oh,
So we, so we were doing
that's not funny, but
we were doing a
Wow.
job, okay, and yeah, good story. So we were doing a job, and the guys were like, "Hey, there's this box beside the bed, and it's in a cremation thing." And I was like, "Oh no!" So what had happened is they lived in this house, husband and wife. Wife's best friend from childhood, whatnot, come to live with them. They had a whole guest suite built for her. She lived there by herself, I guess mingled with the people, the owners, the friends and whatnot, and she passed away. She had no family. So I went to the homeowner, I knocked on the door. This was on a Saturday, and I had the box, and I opened it up. He opens the door and he goes, "Hey," I said, "Sir, we have found Victoria." And I went like this. He goes, "Well, she and I weren't really that close."
oh no.
And I said, "Well, sir, you're closer to her than I am, and we can't throw her in the landfill." And I just sat her right there
Oh, no.
on the little stool beside the
Bless.
door. So yes, that would be
Wow.
the most.
When you said remains, I was thinking bones, so that's a little less.
Well,
Right. I'm sure
I
you-
guess it's.
But
Well, we
still.
didn't open it up and look,
No,
but
oh, yeah.
she was in there, so that was
Oh,
interesting. We
wow.
have come across someone's coffin.
Oh wow.
They actually had a pine box made for them to be buried in.
Okay, I've heard of that though before. That's kind of common, I think. Or you can buy it on Amazon and
Well,
have it ready
right.
to go.
But the family chose not to bury them in that.
Oh.
But
They kept it.
they did keep it. I asked if I could have it because it's a great Halloween prop.
Sure.
I
I bet you do come across some fun, unusual things.
There's a lot of unusual things. People are very interesting. I will
People
just
are
say that.
interesting, so I can imagine some of the things that you come
Well,
across.
and some of the things people hide in their bedrooms, very interesting.
You could write a book one day.
You could write a book.
You should totally do that. Like that could be your retirement plan. I'm gonna write a book about my junking days. Those will
Well,
be
yeah,
great.
or have a podcast maybe of
Oh, yeah.
junk and stuff, or
Yeah.
you just never know. Speaking of junk and stuff, do y'all remember that? That was in Statesville. Gosh, probably I'm 43, so 35 years ago. Do y'all remember that store? So there was a store called Junk and Stuff in Statesville. It's over there on Front Street, down from where Shops Up Front is. And I think it's a Family Dollar there now, or used to be, or maybe it's another. At any rate, so yeah, it literally used to be called Junk and Stuff. And my grandmother would go in there all the time. And now I'm thinking, like, did that plant a seed? Like,
Maybe you
is
just
this
have.
her fault?
Yeah, you're like I'm gonna be the person that doesn't let anybody that gets all that
Yes.
stuff out that my grandma bought.
I'm just going to be the junk king of Statesville.
Oh, you should totally do that.
Well, I don't mind it. I'm the Sanford and Son of Statesville.
There you
I don't
go.
mind it.
There you go. So, what are some of your significant milestones or achievements that you are proud of that in the last 5.5 years of your business?
Well, actually, just starting a business, period. Having
is-
the
that's-
courage to do that, having the support of family and friends. That first customer, Betty Sue Doty, I see her all the time. That first customer that believed in us to do just to do the work.
Yeah.
Gosh, I've never been asked that question before. That's a good question. Buying my first truck, being able to pay for it,
Yeah.
having a business that is sustainable, that I don't have to finance myself. Having the first customer review, being able to buy another truck and a dump trailer and another dump trailer, having my wife and family tell me they're proud of me.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
those are, massive milestones. Having that 1,000th customer service. And I think we're close to 2,000. I was going to count that actually before I came in here, but yeah, all those things. Seeing, riding around town, and the kids see the HunkAJunk truck or a HunkAJunk, and I'm like, Daddy, it's HunkAJunk. So those are all little proud moments.
Yeah.
Doing some stuff like we did earlier with some local charities, Rainbow Kids, and the Iredell County Partnership, and helping with Yoke
I was
Fella.
gonna say you're doing Yoke Fella right
we're
now.
doing
You're
a
doing a
canned food drive.
canned food drive.
So actually, please, if you're in the Statesville area, please drop by the Cedar Stump Pub in Statesville, Troutman, Red Buffalo, Greenbrier Grill, Genesis Fitness, and Statesville Dance. Those are all drop locations for non-perishable food items for the entire month of October until November the 4th. That'll be our last pickup day. And so we did that last year just for one day, and we were able to get over 2,000 servings that day to donate to Yoke Fella, which was awesome.
Wow.
And so we're hoping to at least match that or go beyond that. So if you could, there's a lot of hungry people in Statesville, and it seems like there's more of a need right now than I can remember. So if you find even one can of something or a box of cereal, even baby wipes,
Right.
all those things are in need. So that's another avenue of HunkAJunk that I never thought when we started this business what we could do to help give back to the community. We've bought bikes a couple years for Fifth Street for the kids, and so as long as if I win, everybody wins. That's the way I look at it. So if I can help in any way and we can make it happen, that's what we try to do.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That is awesome. And just to mention again the community opportunities that you involve yourself with. Is there any reason or rhyme to who you choose to operate or work with, or as far as provide some benefits to, or
Just
is it really just
charities
seeing the need?
that we see a need. I mean, I know a lot of people. I was born and raised in Statesville. I raised a family here. My business is here. All of my immediate family lives here. So this is, and I have children that are going to grow up here. So you're trying to leave a mark. I don't want to say a legacy. That might sound a little pompous, but you're trying to do something to give back. And we're very blessed. My wife has a great job. She comes from a great family. I have 2 full-time jobs, and we have 2 beautiful, wonderful, happy, healthy little twins. So trying to give back. A friend of mine, one of my best friends, Kevin Head, he works for Easter Seals, and he's involved in multiple programs around. And the Iredell County Partnership for Young Children is near and dear to him, so he pulls me in, and we do stuff together for that. I've known Lee and Darty basically my entire life with the Rainbow Kids. Tim and Jody Belcher I've known since I was 18 years old, and obviously we do a lot with the Rainbow Kids Ride and Run. So I like to help give back with that. I've had family that lived in Fifth Street, so fell on hard times. So I enjoy giving back to that. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Every one of us has a family member, friend, someone that unfortunately has taken their own life. So giving back to that as well is a big part of what we try to do. I mean, obviously we can't support everything.
Right.
Trust me, if I hit this $1.7 billion, there's going to be a lot of
I
lives
know we were just talking about that earlier.
Okay,
Don't
I'll be
really
able to support a lot more local charities.
get those Powerball numbers.
Yes.
How about some challenging moments in your business that you've had to overcome, and could you give some advice or lessons learned from that challenge?
Yeah, challenging. Oh boy, let's see. Well, there's just not enough time in the day.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Taking time, don't be too consumed, which is very hard for me. I'm very much a perfectionist in certain aspects. I want us to be the best. I want to be the best. I'm a very driven person. I can't stand losing, so to a fault. But take time. Don't be too consumed with what you're doing. Take that time and spend it with your family, because you're not promised tomorrow. If you can't answer every customer call, you can't get to every job. And at the end of the day, those precious moments that you do spend with your family, they could be gone. So even with if you have a side hustle, I would recommend anybody who has ever had an idea or a dream, and you're like, well, I got this full-time job, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm not one of those guys who says, hey, you should quit your job. Okay, figure it out, and then go do this.
Yeah.
Okay. But dabble in it, start a side hustle, and see what happens, and let it grow, let it create, and don't be afraid to fail. It's okay to fail. What's it called? Failing forward, falling forward.
Yeah.
There's a book about that, and don't be afraid to take a risk, and don't listen to a lot of family and friends, because they will steer you in the wrong direction. There's a lot of naysayers out there, a lot of cup half empty, but surround yourself with good people, positive people that are going to encourage you to
lift
succeed
you and
lift
lift
you. Yes.
Yeah.
Rising tide lifts all ships. Is that right?
Yeah. I love that.
So yeah, I would recommend just try it, do it. And if you don't succeed, it's okay.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
So you're marketing an orange truck.
Yes.
Why orange? Where'd that come from?
A good question. I have no tie to orange. Okay. I like bold, and I like loud. I like monster. What's it called? Is it called guerrilla marketing, I think? But orange is eye-catching. And so there's obviously the number one junk removal franchise in the country. The world's actually when HunkAJunk. Okay. So they're blue. And I thought, well, I'll just go with orange. I almost went with like a Carolina blue because I'm a Tar Heel fan. I was like, well, I don't want to do that. So I just went with something different. And so we went with the orange and the blue, and I thought the colors looked good together. And so that's what we did. And my wife said, okay.
I love it. It looks really good. It is eye-catching. It looks really
And
good.
she named
Good
the
job.
company. So that's her. We get a lot of people that like the name, so that's her creation. So it's her fault we have the business, and it's her fault we have the name. So she did a great job.
I always see when I'm driving, just random places, I'll see a HunkAJunk dumpster bin
Yep.
or a truck driving down the road, or I've seen a few billboards, and
Yes.
but they're always in the most random places.
Good.
And I'm just like, oh, look there.
Look at there.
Brandon.
That's right. You just never know where we're going to pop up.
That's awesome. Well, we're just about out of time here, but one of the things that we always ask is, to help us and help our businesses know, like, what, why are you a business member of the Chamber, and how can you tell us how this might have made an impact on your business?
Yeah, sure. I think it's important, number one, being a member of the Chamber to help you get connected. Okay. It helps you be involved in the community, helps you get to meet, network with other people that you would never thought even existed. Even there's other companies in town and what they do. And it's just a way to get out there and promote yourself, promote your business, but also you get to meet someone else that does X, Y, and Z that you didn't know, that you can go, oh, hey, by the way, we do this. And the Chamber does a lot for the community. So just being involved is very helpful, and being plugged in. Unfortunately, I can't do all the things I'd love to do because I still have a real full-time job. But maybe one day I can do more. But
Well, you do a lot now.
Yeah, we're grateful for you.
I try. Yes.
Y'all were wonderful for Friday After 5 this year. If people
Thank
don't
you.
know, that's one of our biggest events. That's not just big from a perspective of attendance, but just from a putting it on and the labor part of it. And y'all really came through for us to help us with our setup and breakdowns, because that's the part that's the hardest of the entire thing.
It is. The party's the fun part. It's just like anything, the prep and the cleanup. That's the challenge.
Most people don't know how early we get out there at like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Right.
And they don't know that we don't get done until 10:30 at
That's-
night.
that's correct.
They're like, what? And we're picking up trash in the dark, and we're cleaning the park, and we're putting all the stuff perfectly back into the trailer for John Childress if he's listening.
Yes.
Because if it's not right, we hear about it next time. But, it's just a lot of those little things that go into the details of events and programs that we do that we appreciate y'all doing that.
Well, thank you. And we enjoy doing it, and we appreciate it, the opportunity.
All right. Well, thanks, Brandon.
Well, thank you guys for having me. And if you guys are listening, want to look us up, you can see us on Facebook, HunkAJunk Calling, on Instagram, HunkAJunk Calling. Our website's, ready for it, HunkAJunkCalling.com. And you can call me at 704-657-6778. And yes, that is me who answers the phone. So
Fantastic. And you can see them out and about in beautiful orange trucks.
that's right. Thank you.
Super fun.
Thank
Super
you.
fun. We really appreciate you coming on today and sharing with us.
Absolutely. And congratulations again on what you're doing here. I think it's fantastic.
We're excited.
Good. You should be. This is awesome.